honest. So, well, that was great, Christy. We're going to have our next student now, and I'd like to introduce to you Kelsey Ebeling.
What a great night. We've heard some exciting, inspiring words. You guys all have done phenomenally, and I'm just so thankful to have gone to school with you. But tonight I want to share with you guys about these last 2 years of my journey in HITC. And man, it's been so fun. It has been so good. And I first heard about HITC in mid-July 2009. We were on vacation and I was living my life, wandering about, doing nothing significant, thinking that I would never be anyone that could do anything. And I was talking to Carrie and I was like, I don't even know, I don't know what to do with my life, and I just want to be in the middle of whatever God is doing. I want to be wherever He's moving. That is the most important thing to me. I want to be where God's speaking, and I don't care if somebody tells me I'm doing stuff wrong. I want to change because I'm not happy with the way that I am. I was so frustrated just living mediocre, you know? It gets old really fast. And so I was like, you know, the biggest thing for me is I want to be transformed. I want to be changed, and whatever it takes, bring it on. And that was my attitude. And so 1 week later, I applied for HITC, and 1 month later, I moved here. And it was a huge step of faith, but I look back and know it was totally the hand of the Lord guiding my steps, and I don't know where I would be today if I hadn't have come here. And it's not about the state or the church, it's about God, and that was what He had in store for me. And that has made all the difference. My biggest question moving here was, could I handle the pressure? I don't think I could do it because they were telling me about it, and it's kind of intense, you know, it's a little bit difficult, and I had a lot of doubts that I had put on myself, that I couldn't handle a busy schedule, I couldn't handle being graded, I couldn't even stick it out for a whole year. There was no way I would be able to make it to graduation because I had never served the Lord consistently. I had always lived off of camp highs and just, oh God, I'll do anything, and a month later I'm back living to please myself. And the devil was trying to beat me up thinking, you know, you can never do this. You're not going to make it to graduation. You're going to waste all the money. Why don't even try. It's going to waste your time. But truly, that argument has been broken because here I am, 2 years later, I made it, and I'm alive. Going into school, I had this question. What's the point of it all? Why do we go to church? Why do we do this? Why do we get up on Sundays and drag ourselves when we could, you know, be sleeping in? And why do we do, well, I don't know, why? And I had a lot of whys because I grew up in church and I knew all the right answers and I knew what to say to sound acceptable and to get the good grades in Christian school and to make it into Bible college and everything. But truly, I hadn't answered the whys in my heart, and God hadn't showed me yet why we do what we do and why we lift our hands. I just thought we just did because that's the international sign of surrender. You know, I didn't realize that God had said, when you worship me, lift your hands. That's a Bible verse. You know, I didn't know that. And for me, being able to learn why we do what we do has made a huge difference in my walk with the Lord because it's not about fulfilling people's expectations, but it's about pleasing the Lord. Just like what Christy was saying, that's what it's all about because you will burn out when you're trying to please people because you're going to fail over and over and over. And now that I have been in school, I am rooted in what I believe, and I'm rooted in what salvation means. I didn't really know. I thought it was just about a prayer. I was like, okay, trying to do the right thing, but really it's about letting God change you from the inside out and becoming a totally new creation in Christ. And that is something that I've discovered is that it's all about the roots, it's all about salvation, and it's just exciting, you know, not going through motions anymore, but really being able to like stand with the Lord and know that to the best of my ability, I'm walking as close to you as I can, and you know, and God, it's just about me and you, and man, it's such a freeing thing, and it's just been amazing. So I have to tell you guys about a turning point in my walk with the Lord. It was October of 2009, about a month after school had started, and it was just another day, an hour of power, and I was praying, and all of a sudden the Lord came down and He met me in a powerful way, and He spoke to me these words, and it may seem just whatever to you, but to me, it changed my life. He said, leadership is sacrifice. And there were things that I had been holding on to, not like sins necessarily, but just personal rights that I thought that I deserved. And God was like, you need to go to the next level. You need to lay those things down, not because of legalism or anything like that, not because someone's asking you to, but because I've called you to lead. And I have called you to be a person that others can follow safely without falling off to the right or to the left. And it was about surrendering my heart to the Lord. Total surrender. Anything you want, Lord, you can have. And for me, that was a huge, huge turning point. When God put a call of leadership, he said, I've called you to lead, and leadership is sacrifice. And there's things that you are not going to be allowed to do that other people can do that are in the church, but that's because I've called you to a higher standard. And that truly changed my life. It wasn't something emotional, it wasn't an altar call I went to, but it was the Lord speaking to me and dealing with me, and that was what I needed.
That's good.
Okay, prophetic assembly, a huge turning point in this journey. You know, before I came to school, and even just in the first year of school, I really didn't think I would ever amount to anything. I didn't think I could do anything special. I didn't think I had anything to offer. Wait, why would God want to use me? You know, that was kind of my thinking. It just, like, I don't really, like, no big deal. I'll just come to church on Sundays and just build the house that way. But really, in prophetic assembly, God spoke to me so clearly that he has put giftings in me, and he has put, he's put a vision in my heart for the future. Amen. And that there's things that I am called to do, and I need to go and do those things, to be obedient to the Lord. And a lot of the prophetic word was about new beginnings, and not thinking about the past, not feeling limited by the past, but pressing on to the future. And a lot of it was also about leadership and being a person that others can follow. And something that Bob Isabel prophesied over me, I'm just going to read to you. He said, you point yourself at the church, you throw yourself at God, you give yourself to people, and you'll end up in the ministry, and you'll do the thing that God has called you to do. And that just shook me, because I never thought that I would be a ministry person. Like, I'm sure there's some of you out here who's like, oh, that pastor thing, that is totally for someone else. That was me. I was like, I would never, like, I'm going to be a marketplace person or something, or just a mom. I don't know. But God put a call of ministry in me. And, you know, it's not about the title. It's not about ministry. It's about loving and serving people. And that's something that God has really showed me in these last 2 years. It's truly, it's not about ministry. It's about people and loving people and serving people. And so now, down the road, my plans, I'm going to share with you a few things. You know, I bet you were hoping that I was going to come with, like, you know, this is my specific, like, my 15-step plan and how I'm going to fulfill all that God has called me to do, and I know exactly what it's going to look like, and I know who I'm going to marry, too, so we have a date set, so if you can get out your calendar. No, okay, honestly, like, just because you go through school doesn't mean you have it all figured out. And so, all I know to do is to run after the Lord, and not walk, not stand, but to run and to truly give the Lord everything, all my strength, all my energies, every talent. That's what my plan is. When I get out of school, I'm going to run and not sit back and take a vacation, not chill because it's been hard, but to truly just press on and say, you know, from this point on forward, I'm going to go farther, I'm going to run harder, I'm going to press in even more than I ever have before. And one prophetic word that was spoken over me said, from this day on, you're going to walk a fiery walk. And that is what I plan to do. And I'm going to translate fiery walk as run. I don't know. Like, eyewitness, okay, all right. Pretty much the same thing. So I'm so excited about what God's going to do in this next season. And also, since I don't know exactly what he has in store, my plan is just to follow him. No matter what he tells me to do, no matter what doors he opens, I'm going to walk through those doors, because that is how you fulfill the will of the Lord. You know, you don't have it all figured out. You just have to trust and obey and truly just follow him wherever he leads you. And that's what I'm going to do. And a scripture that God has put so strong in my heart, even in just this last month, is Proverbs 16:9, which says, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. And there's no fear or worry when you're just following the Lord. You're just holding his hand, and he's leading you down every path that he might take you down. And there's no worry there, and it's just peaceful. And so I'm just so excited about what God's going to do. Next, I plan to develop the giftings that God has put in me. And I know there's a violin up there, but that's not the only thing that I plan on developing. I'm excited about playing violin and seeing what God's going to do through that gifting. you know, you guys, I don't know if you know this, but I played since I was 10 years old, and I used to take private lessons, and I played in orchestras, and I played classical, and I hated it. I hated practicing, and my parents made me, and I played all the way until I was 17, and I mean, they paid so much money, and they kept pouring into me, and they were like, God is going to use you, and I was like, whatever, you know, like how teenagers do, like, you know, I'm only doing this because you're making me, you know, and so, so it's been really exciting in this last season of reopening up that talent, because I had put it on a shelf for about a year. I didn't play at all, and so now I've been going down that road and seeing what God's doing, and God's been moving powerfully, and even, I don't know what He's doing in you, but in me, He's really changing my heart while I play. Man, He just, oh, He deals with me, it's good. And not just in music, I really want to develop also graphic design. That's a more practical side of things. I don't know where it came from, but somehow God has given me this gift to like make things look pretty. So I felt like it was appropriate to make a PowerPoint, you know, just to go along. But I want to get some more informal education in the realm of graphic design. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I'm really excited what God's going to do. Also, writing, I really want to pursue writing books to maybe young teens, or also I've had a burden to write to parents about teenagers and just exposing things that teens try to hide, and attitudes, and, you know, just lies that they try to mask their lives with, because I used to be one of those teens. So I just have a burden, you know, to expose those lies. And also, and this is to me the most important, I want to develop the prophetic gifting in my life, because God has clearly said it to me over and over. I called you to prophesy, and you're gonna do that. And I'm always like, oh, I don't think I can do that. But you know, He's said that I can, and so that means I can. And He's gonna make that happen if that's His will. And I'm excited for Brazil. When we come back, I'm gonna tell you all about it, because we're gonna prophesy down there. It's gonna be wonderful. And lastly, the Lord told me that I have a green light, and that means the world is just open. Here we go, you know. I don't know exactly what God has in store, and I'm not sad about graduating. The reason that I started school was to graduate and move on. That's what it's all about, is the future and moving on. I no longer have limitations. I no longer have arguments that are holding me back. I'm so thankful for these last 2 years and all that God has done. But this is only the beginning. Here we go.
This year, Kelsey gave her first prophetic word. She sang her first prophetic song of the Lord and played on the violin. It's amazing. And I got to do something that very few of you have. I got to carry her violin case. I got to tell you something about Kelsey. I asked her, I said, hey, let me just carry that. I was being just the guy, you know. We were coming back from chapel, and she said, no, nobody carries my violin case.
I said it nicer than that.
You look nicer
oh no,
than
it's okay, I got it. I don't let anyone carry a violin.
So, okay, no problem. And then you turned and said, if you'd like to. I'm like, really? So it only happened once, but I didn't.
The reason I don't let anyone carry it is because it's really valuable, and I don't want to make someone feel bad if I don't like trust them, and then they come up and ask me, and I'm like, no, but this person can, you know. So I'd rather just say nobody can. That way, nobody's feelings get hurt.
Your question is number 5 or 6.
5.
What's something you're looking forward to once you graduate?
Oh. That is so hard.
Something.
Okay, I'm excited about a change of schedule. That will be fun. I mean, obviously we're still going to be like busy, but it's always fun when things switch up in like the way that the weeks go by, you know. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about what God's going to do. Most of all, I know it sounds like way cliche, but I really am excited to see what God is going to do now that I've got some training, I've gotten my feet underneath me, you know, who knows what's going to happen, so, yeah.